Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am starting a brand new series on this channel where I will be checking out the best-selling albums of all time, one by one. And I thought I would kick it off with an album I've been wanting to listen to for the last few months. I've been dying to listen to this album, but I've been holding off. I can't take it anymore. I have to listen to it. So I'll be checking out The Dark Side of the Moon for the very first time by Pink Floyd from 1973, released on March 1st, which is my birthday. And I'm really excited. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. It has sold over 45 million copies worldwide. Just think about that. 45 million copies worldwide, which makes this in the top 5 of highest selling albums of all time. Now, this is their 8th studio album. I haven't listened to a Pink Floyd album before. The only Pink Floyd song I recall hearing is their song Another Brick in the Wall. Other than that, I don't think I've heard any other Pink Floyd song before. This album in particular, I don't think I've heard any of the songs yet. The album is 43 minutes and there are 10 tracks. I honestly don't have much to say right now, so we're just gonna get right into it. I mean, you have no idea. I went to bed last night excited and giddy, knowing that I would be listening to this album today. So let's get right into it with track number 1, Speak to Me.
on the grass, remembering games and daisy chains and laughs. Paper holds their folded faces to the floor. And if the dam breaks open, many years too soon. And if your head explodes with all the bones too. I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. The lunatic is in my head. You lock the door, throw away the key. And if the cloud presents thunder in your ear, it starts playing different tunes. And all that shit together, and all that shit together. Too weak, and everyone you meet, the sun is a place but a
Um, that's all 10 tracks of The Dark Side of the Moon, and wow, this was an experience. Usually when I do these first listen videos, I stop in between each track so I can give you my impression of the song, what I thought of it, what I liked, what I did like, my reaction. I couldn't do that. I felt like, well, first and foremost, it was natural for me not to stop in between each of the songs because each one flowed beautifully one to the next. And once I realized it was doing that with track number 1, 2, 3, it almost felt wrong to stop in between each track to talk. You don't want to hear me talk in between each of these songs. You just want to listen to the music. I didn't even want to talk. I was in a trance the whole time. This is the first time ever where I didn't stop in between each of the tracks to give you my input. And I'm so happy I didn't do that because I feel like I would have broke the chain. I would have broke my trance, and it was amazing. It's definitely difficult for me to give you my full impression on this album after just listening to it for the first time. I need to listen to this album multiple times, but this first time it was exciting. I couldn't even look into the camera in front of me. There were times where I forgot I was filming. I was in a trance, and it was so beautiful. The only time I wanted to open my eyes as I was listening to this album was to read the lyrics. Other than that, I mean, I was in a whole other world. And because I didn't stop in between each of the tracks, I will tell you all the track names because I feel like I owe it to the album to do that, and I owe it to you guys. So track number 1 was Speak to Me, and then that progressed into track number 2, Breathe in the Air. And then track number 3, On the Run. Track number 4, Time. Track number 5, The Great Gig in the Sky. Track number 6, Money. Track number 7, Us and Them. Track number 8, Any Color You Like. Track number 9, Brain Damage. And track number 10, the final track, Eclipse. I didn't know what I was getting myself into going into this first listen video, but I knew right off the bat after listening to track 1 and 2 that I didn't want to speak a single word as I was listening to this album. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going. I love how so many of the songs beautifully, what's the word I'm looking for? They progressed so beautifully one to the next that it was almost like one song. It was like one full production, and I didn't want it to stop. To me, there was a very clear beginning, middle, and end. And I don't really have a preference. I like the whole thing. Like I said, I have to listen to this album multiple times to fully grasp it. This album is definitely unlike anything I've heard before. I haven't listened to many albums in my lifetime, let alone albums from the 70s, so I'm very new to this era of music, 70s music. It's new to me, so hearing an album like this is a whole new world, and I want to discover more albums like this one, especially the rest of Pink Floyd's discography. At the end of the day, I am a pop guy. I do like my pop music and EDM and what have you, but at heart, I am a classic rock guy. I love a good classic rock song, album, progressive rock, whatever you want to call it. Deep down, I really do love rock music, and I feel like there's so many great rock albums out there I haven't even touched the surface with. I loved the atmosphere of this album. Like I said already, it just took me somewhere else, and I was in my zone, and I almost didn't even want to wake up. It was... I have no words. 100% unlike any other album I've listened to in my life. There were also a couple times where, you know what, I was getting teary-eyed, and I could have definitely brought the tears out, but I didn't want to because, I don't know, so I held them back, but there were definitely times I got teary-eyed, and it was beautiful. So what did you guys think of this album? When did you hear it for the first time? What did you think of it when you heard it for the first time? Where were you when you heard it for the first time? What effect has it had on you? This album has been out since 1973, so maybe some of you watching right now listened to it in the 70s for the first time, 80s, 90s, whatever. What did you think of it, and what do you think of it today? I mean, 45 million copies of this album has been sold worldwide, and I can now see why. So I think that's all I want to say on the album. I know I didn't say much, but I'm still digesting it, and it's a lot. And like I said, I have to listen to it multiple times to fully grasp it, form a more concrete opinion, though I feel like my opinion so far has been pretty solid, and it's not going to change because I love the album, and if I listen to it a few more times, which I will, I'm sure I'll love it even more. And I also want to point out an interesting rumor about this album. In particular, the rumor that is called The Dark Side of the Rainbow. Now, this rumor has to do with The Wizard of Oz, and there's this rumor that if you start watching The Wizard of Oz, and also if you start listening to this album at the exact same time, that there are certain odd moments where the production of the album and lyrics in the album line up with events that occur in the movie. Now, Alan Parsons has stated that the film was not mentioned during production of the album, but some of the similarities reported are Dorothy beginning to jog at the lyric, "No one told you when to run" during time, and Dorothy balancing on a tightrope fence during the line, "Balanced on the biggest wave in Breathe." And once again, it looks like the band members have denied the connection between the two works, and Roger Waters has described the rumors as amusing, so it's an interesting coincidence. Maybe I'm gonna do it later on, sometime maybe today during the week, because I do own The Wizard of Oz, so I'm a little curious now. I'm gonna check it out for myself, and maybe I'll update you guys as to what I think in regards to this rumor. So officially, I think that's all I want to say. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I will be doing this new series where I will be listening to the best-selling albums of all time, and I'm looking at the list here, and The Dark Side of the Moon falls in the top 5. Now, it says it sold 45 million copies, and what also sold 45 million copies is Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard soundtrack from 1992. So right now, The Dark Side of the Moon and The Bodyguard soundtrack is tied at 4th place with 45 million copies. And what a coincidence. I am going on my Whitney Houston discography journey right now. And coincidentally, the album I'll be checking out next in that series is The Bodyguard. It's interesting how things like that work out. It wasn't planned. It's a little mind-blowing to me. But anyway, also we have Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell from 1977. I haven't heard any Meatloaf albums before, so I'm excited for that. AC/DC Back in Black, which is the second best-selling album of all time. It's tied with Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell, which also sold 50 million. I haven't heard any AC/DC albums before in my life, so I'm excited to check out that one as well. And of course, the number one album of all time, Thriller by Michael Jackson, 66 million copies. And then there's also the Eagles, their greatest hits, which sold 42 million. Bee Gees, Saturday Night Fever, Fleetwood Mac, Shania Twain's Come On Over, the Grease soundtrack, Led Zeppelin. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. So I'm really excited to check out every single one of those albums. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me. You can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music. You can check out my playlists. And you can find me on TikTok. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you next time. Take care.